All right, so I've been seeing a lot of buzz in the community about this right now, and even a couple of people have brought this up to me over on my streams, and I didn't really think I needed to talk about it, but more and more people are starting to really talk about this right here. If you don't know what this is, basically, Olga is going to be the hashtag for the 8th anniversary. And a lot of people are taking this as a sign that it is quote unquote confirmation that she is going to be the anniversary servant. And I kind of just wanted to address this in today's video because I don't think that's necessarily the case. Now, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, right? But sometimes I gotta come in and be like, hey man, this doesn't mean that we're going to be exactly getting the same thing with the NeroFest thing that I'm like, look, when Monday rolls around and we get an update, I don't want people to be disappointed if we end up getting like hunting quests, right? So I was like, hey, if we get NeroFest, I'm excited, right? I'm going to be super elated to be able to play that event, but I don't want people to be surprised if they pull a fast one on us and they're like, here's mid quest for you guys to farm as well. And so I'm kind of doing that in today's video as well, because I went ahead and I actually looked, not really looked, but I went and I found a post for someone that actually took all of the past year's hashtags and compiled them together, because I didn't want to come into this video being like, oh, I seem to remember there was like an Artoria one, and I think there was a MASH one, because like this one I remember distinctly, and I remember this one pretty well, but the other ones I wasn't sure about, and I was like, well, maybe there's like a Castoria one for, you know, the anniversary when she comes around, like, you know, maybe that has some correlation, but it doesn't seem like there's really any correlation between the units and who actually comes out, right? Because MASH comes out for 3rd anniversary, but that's Scotty. I mean, you could say, I suppose, MASH and Scotty talked to each other in Lost Belt 2, but that's this MASH down here, right? That's not this one. This is part 1 MASH, so I don't think that really has any correlation. Then this is Foe. And, you know, this is Da Vinci Rider. I don't really think there's any connection you can really draw between the two of them. 5th, maybe. Okay, maybe there is a little bit of copy, which is why I don't want to be the complete Debbie Downer on this one, that maybe Olga has some relation to the anniversary unit, because technically it's U-Olga Marie, but this is Olga Marie. They kind of have a relation in the same way that this is when Castoria came out, right, for the 5th anniversary. And this isn't Castoria herself, as you can see, she's down here, but you know, this is Saber Artoria. There is a correlation, right? Although Castoria was very weird because she came out about a year before she was relevant in the story, so she was kind of this just Hail Mary throw of just a servant that came out of absolutely nowhere, right? Like, you know, Scotty was a boss that we just encountered in Lost Belt 2. I mean, I swear it was like a month after Lost Belt 2 released, that's when Anniversary released, and then gave us Scotty, right? And then, you know, Da Vinci Rider, but we always get access to like our Chaldeans. Well, I don't want to say always, because we still don't have Solomon or Galahad technically for that matter, but you get what I'm saying. Like, we hang out with Sherlock and we hang out with Da Vinci, so, you know, we get to summon them, right, for the 1st and 2nd anniversary. Then for the 4th one, they give us Da Vinci Rider, right? But this one was completely out of left field. It has some correlation to the actual servant, right? So I think that doesn't completely dissolve things, but it's not looking good for some of the other ones, right? Because 6th anniversary over here, I mean, that's the one that we just got. That's Koyenskaya. And again, I really can't draw a concrete conclusion with part 2 MASH and Koyenskaya. Like, they interact a bit, but like, I don't think anybody saw Ortanius MASH over here and they were like, yep, that means we're going to be getting Koyenskaya, right? Like, that's a definite confirmation that we are getting this servant. And then 7th, this is the one that we just got. Absolutely no connection at all whatsoever. We got Arcueid from Tsukihime, and Castoria was the hashtag, right? Like, not even in the same, well, technically they're in the same verse, because they're under the branch of Type Moon, but, you know, not in the same series under Type Moon, right? Like, one is from Tsukihime, one is from Fate Grand Order, which is like an offshoot of Fate itself. Like, it's not even the main one, right? So some of these really don't have any correlation at all that you can really draw. And this is the only one that I think does maybe lend some credence to the theory that it's like, well, technically, in the same way that Castoria is Artoria, but isn't, maybe that Olga being here, where U-Olga Marie is kind of like Olga, but not Olga, right? Maybe that lends some credence to people saying that it's confirmed. What I more thought of when people were saying like, oh yeah, look at this post over here, like, you know, she's the little hashtag, and look, she's like the banner person. I was like, maybe that's just a red herring. Like, maybe they're really just trying to like throw people off on the Olga thing, right? Like, maybe they're trying to make it so obvious, and then they just throw out I have no idea, just a complete random servant. But on the same instance, like, I feel like doing this is also could be seen as like a way that you're trying to drive hype, right? Is that you're like kind of pseudo confirming that Olga might be the anniversary servant, and kind of get people hyped for it. Like they're more and more excited for it because if you do this, you have to know that people are going to think, oh, that new Olga Marie that we were able to play with in Lost Belt 7, we have access to basically all of her animations, all of her skills. We know everything that she's capable of doing aside from her NP, which is locked. And I believe it's an arts NP. Someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe it's an arts NP. So like we know everything except for like the name and what it does, right? And I guess obviously the animation, right? And her other Ascension stuff and, all that good stuff that we'll get when she releases. But basically, the unit's done, right? Like the unit is complete. Unless they want to like change some things or reformat her a little bit. And so, because we already have her in the game, and then you throw this out there, if they don't throw Olga out there, even though I don't think it's confirmed because I looked at the last, few years hashtags, I feel like people will be really upset, right? Because even though they're not saying she's the unit, wouldn't you kind of feel that you've been bait and switched, right? Like they kind of like not lied to you, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm trying to convey here is that like I feel like people would be a little bit upset about that. So I don't know. I still think we're probably going to see somebody aside from Olga. I kind of like to look at it as like, oh, they're really going to like try to tease us with Olga, but then they're going to like throw a completely different person that's maybe even more hype, right around the corner. Like, and they're going to whip us with that, right? Maybe it's going to be like Alka or something. Like, considering how much promotion they've been doing for, what is it called? I don't know the Japanese name for it, but I know it's like Witch on the Holy Night or something, I believe is the name. I still have to play the game. Don't crucify me in the comments. I'll get around to it. But I think if they made her the protagonist, from what little I know about her and, some of the like outfits I've seen that she has, I think she would be a really hype, cute servant for them to put out. And it would also tie very nicely with last year's where, last year they gave us Arcweed from Tsukihime finally. We already have Shiki from Kara no Kyokai. Obviously, we have like pretty much all of our main protagonists from the different Fate series. And then this would be nice to bring that in after they've been giving it so much love. I think that'd be really, really cool. And I think that would be like one of the few people that would be acceptable to kind of replace Olga for the anniversary. Because, not to get into too many spoilers for Lost Belt 7, but it feels like Olga should release when we get to, how do I word this, to where she's going, right? We're technically following after her, and I feel like it would make more sense for them to drop her later. It might be a bit more impactful, but I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. I just wanted to drop a little quick video on this and kind of like show that, like, I was like, well, let me go look at this instead of me like blabbering on and being like, well, I remember some of these were over here. Thank you. You guys know I'm terrible pronouncing names. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your name, buddy. But you know what? Thank you very much for compiling this because it made it very easy to go through and look at all of these and see how they were organized. Because, dude, I was just going to start scrolling through Twitter for the past couple of years. So this guy saved me like a couple hours of scrolling. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. And if you want that daily FGO content, make sure you subscribe. I also stream FGO every single weekday, as long as I'm not sick, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'd love to see more of you guys come out there. Also, this week will be the Nuzlocke week, right? Like, this upcoming Saturday will be the Nuzlocke, so make sure you're staying tuned on YouTube and stuff, because I'll be streaming same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just over here. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll actually make progress. But yeah, I'm out. Peace.